Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. We are here to do the Philadelphia Funk and Soul story. Who do we have in the studio? The legendary Jerome Tucker, the busiest band in Ontario. Jerome, how are you, man?
Really good, man. Really good.
Yeah.
Really good.
You have so much fun every time you come into the studio.
Cause it's fun in this place, man. And the music's always popping before I get here. So you know what? It just I don't know. It's like I'm not doing anything but hanging out my own house. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, that's you know, it's a love at Radio Region. A love, a respect, an honor, a family, unity.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
Together, and you know what we do for independent artists.
Everything, man.
Yeah, man.
In the city of Toronto, I think you're the only one.
Yeah, thank you, man.
You know, pushing our stuff anyway. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, I got DVD on board.
Yeah, no, but
Yeah,
I'm saying, I
yes,
know, but you are the originator of it.
Thank you,
like, if you think about it, right?
Thank you. Appreciate it. And, you know, the only station that I know of, and people tell me this too, that where you can hear, artists can hear the music being played,
Yeah.
hear the stories, get a soundbite.
Right.
You can call in, hear the voice over the radio, and the swagger and the great music. How better does it get?
Not. Doesn't. I said not.
Old
It just
school
doesn't-
radio
yeah,
is
I
back,
know.
Jerome. But today we're going to talk about Philadelphia soul.
Nice. Okay, that's my home. So that's
And
good.
Victor Baines Marshall, he'll be in here in the next hour or so.
Nice.
So let's get this groove growing here. Tell me, what's it like for you growing up in Philadelphia?
Philadelphia, man. You know what? If you're talking about from a music point of view, like all the great stuff, you know, Howard Melvin and the Blue Notes,
Yes.
everything from Gamble and Huff, just a really good, like not Motown. It's like a takeoff. Our music was like a takeoff of Motown
Yes.
with a lot of punch and a lot of feeling. You know, like
Disco mixed with soul.
yeah, you know what
Heavy,
I'm saying?
heavy.
Yes, man, heavy. You know what I mean? Serious.
Yeah.
You know, serious good groove, you know? So I just remember listening to the best music, man.
Right.
When I think about it, and any other genre, Philadelphia is just a very special place for music.
Yeah.
It just is, you know? The best bass players come from Philly,
Right.
you know? So all that was intact.
And not to forget, Philadelphia had produced some of the best disc jockeys in the world. It's
Yeah.
WDAS and the
Yeah.
other
Oh,
radio
yeah, man.
station.
You know about that.
Butterball Tamburo.
Man, yes, man. I
Jocko-
grew up listening to that,
Jocko,
man.
yeah.
Yes, Jocko Pastorius. Or Jocko, no, the radio.
Yeah.
But yeah,
And
Jocko.
Butterball Tamburo.
Yeah.
That Italian cat.
That was-
Frankie
yes.
Crocker copied his style.
Yes. What do you know about them guys, man? Listen,
I
WDAS
do my research, baby.
was I mean, from the time I was probably, I don't know, man, maybe 12 or 13. They've been around maybe 40 years.
Yeah.
Maybe even more than that, man. I grew up on WDAS. What?
You got some of the best electronic bass players in the world.
Yeah, man, totally.
That come
In
out
the
of that
world.
region.
You know something? Philly changed too, man. When I was a kid,
Right.
Philly was a hard city, man.
Is that right?
No room for any error. They didn't want to be in the wrong neighborhoods and things like that.
Is that right?
Yeah, it was hard, you know?
Wow, that's when you were coming out.
Yeah, but you know, it's since kind of gotten nice now, you know?
Okay.
I never thought, like, okay, for instance, you know, I'm not gay and I don't, you know, whatever, you know, I don't care about things like that, but now it's a gay-friendly city.
Okay.
Back then,
You couldn't pull that
you couldn't,
nonsense.
yeah, you couldn't, if you were screwed, man, because,
Get whacked.
yeah, man, you know what, I like things moving forward, you
Yes,
know what I mean?
yes.
I do, I like to see it move forward.
And you know, a lot of people don't know it in America. Philadelphia is the home for a lot of things, man. Like when it comes to
Yeah.
medicine,
Yeah,
it was the place. The
Yeah.
Mint, the Declaration of Independence, the Philly cheesesteak,
Yeah.
Rocky.
well, it was going to be the capital, you know that, like,
Right.
so all that old stuff, right, is in Philly, you know, like,
Amusement parks,
yeah,
murals.
Franklin Institute, all, you know, like all those old things, you know what I mean? The Liberty Bell,
Wow.
you know, that what was
Yes.
going to be the capital of the United States building, you know, things like that. It's all in Philly, man.
And the first school for college business, Wharton School in 1881.
Really? See, I didn't even know that, you know?
Ah.
I was in it. You know, sometimes you're right next to it and don't see it,
It's
right?
Precisely. It was the Philadelphia Tribune, founded in 1884, the oldest continuous published African American newspaper.
Man, I didn't even know that.
Hey.
I didn't know. You know something? I should know that.
Yes, you got a lot of history down there. The AME Baptist Church.
Now I know that.
All
yeah.
right,
That's
all
right.
right.
That's right.
But Philadelphia, man, the music. What gave it that sound? The sound of Philadelphia.
I know, and it is a sound too, man.
It is unique.
Yeah, it's like we kind of took parts of things. Like, you look at Grover Washington's music.
Yes.
Taking some from jazz and some from hip hop. Well, what is hip hop now? Because
Yes.
before, hip hop didn't exist.
Right.
It kind of stemmed off of that style of music.
Right.
I think we took Motown and just gave it a punch, man, and gave it a lot more feeling and just I hate to say more soul because
Yes.
people get pissed off about that. We gave it some Philly soul,
Yes. Yes. This is quite right.
some Dr. J,
Yes. Dr.
some
J,
Julius
the
Irving,
first
yeah.
76s, yeah.
That's it, man. All of
Man.
it comes into play. Philly's very unique city, close to the capital and close to New York.
Right. Right. Now, Jerome, for the people who don't know, I'm going to just reel off some bands with me that came out of Philadelphia that was just unbelievable.
Right.
Fat Larry's band.
Yeah, man. Oh,
George Duke.
all right,
Stanley Clark.
man.
Hall & Oates.
Man.
Patti LaBelle. Teddy Pendergrass.
You ain't saying nothing, okay?
Maze and Frankie Beverly. Evelyn Champagne.
That's right, man. I
Harold
grew up to
Melvin,
this, man.
George Howard.
Man.
Delphonics.
The Delphonics.
Blue Magic.
Yes, yes.
Double Exposure. George
Alright.
Benson from Pittsburgh.
You did some
Norman
homework.
Connors, The Tramps, Stylistic.
The Tramps,
Cashmere.
dude.
Phyllis Hyman.
Phyllis Hyman. You know, she used to date
basketball player.
Yeah. She got in a lot of trouble over it. They got some divorce.
Yeah. McFadden and Whitehead.
McFadden and Whitehead. Ain't no stopping us now.
William Devon.
Yes.
Major Harris. Grover Washington Jr.
Man, you start to ring out some names, man. There's a
Instant
lot
Funk.
on this list.
Barbara
Instant Funk.
Mason. MSFB. Billy Paul.
Billy Paul.
Dexter Wansell. Jones Girls.
Jones Girls.
The People's Choice. Lou Rawls.
Let's go back to the Jones Girls.
Archie Bell and the Drells. Sound Soul Orchestra. Gamble and Huff. Bell and
Gamble and
Jane.
Huff,
The
yes.
Spinners. 3 Degrees.
I didn't realize the Spinners too.
Pieces of a Dream.
Pieces of a Dream. They're
The
from they're my
Soul
friends.
Survivors. Vince Montana Jr., Dee Sharp, Lolita Holloway, Eddie Holman, The Intruders,
Man,
Eddie
okay.
Harris, Tom Bell. He was Jamaican. A lot
I
of
didn't know
people
that. I didn't know Tom
He's
Bell was Jamaican.
That's right.
Really? All right.
Cliff Nobles, Norman Harris, Jill Scott,
Norman Harris,
Bonnie
Jill Scott.
Singlet, The Vibrations, TSOP, The First Choice, Ecstasy, Passion and Pain, Bloodstone, The Ritchie Family, Brenda and the Tribulations, The Persuaders, Breakwater, James and Bobby Purify, Barbara Lynn, tons of bass players, Stanley
Jaco
Clark,
Pastores.
Nathan East, Jamaluddin Takuma, Alfonso Johnson, Victor Bailey, Christian McBride, Jimmy Garrison, Jimmy Heat, Art Davis, Gerald Beasley,
Gerald V.
Gary Joe, that's your cousin.
That's my cousin. That's right.
Jerome Tucker.
That's it, baby. And you know, I wouldn't be playing if it wasn't for Gary Joe.
There you go.
You did some serious homework there, man.
This was
These
what I
were the
did.
groups I listened to when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Every one of them, man.
Well, the Cool Breeze don't play. You know, Jerome, you know this.
I know you always come prepared. I kind of feel like I'm not prepared today, you know, but
Yeah.
but it's okay. I lived it.
Yeah. You know, one time, and I learned from a young cat, Jerome,
Uh-huh.
I was dating some of the most beautiful women in Toronto.
I saw a picture of you.
Thank you with the
When you were-
muscle.
yeah, man.
Kissing of the bicep.
I know you gave the girl some trouble back in the day.
but
He said,
she,
yeah.
she was long hair, beautiful eyes, wonderful sapodillo cocoa skin.
Right.
And I didn't have the lines. I was stumbling, mumbling.
You?
I wasn't prepared. This is the early 80s. I lost a beautiful girl because I came ill prepared.
You didn't have no game.
No game. But now,
You got game. I give it to you.
mad game.
Yeah, see, that's what happens though. See, you still, you got to look. But back in the day, I saw the picture and I was like, he probably had some girls. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But see, sometimes game
Yes.
and time don't go together, right? Like,
Amen, my brother. Amen. But now, I'm a Tasmanian monster.
that's it, man. You know. See now, all right.
I'm the new sheriff in town. When I
Yeah.
come downtown, I bring the round mound of rebound. Pound by pound, I bring surround sound to your playground. You better get up to get down, brother.
You learn to stop mumbling, huh?
Jerome, you're killing
Oh,
it.
man.
You're killing it. You're a piece of work in progress.
Well, man, you know what? I'm so happy about this list, man.
Yeah.
Like you're ringing stuff like the Jones Girls.
They were dead. Talk about
Oh
that.
man,
Talk
that Nights Over Egypt thing.
Ooh,
Oh,
and
and that was one of the first bass lines that was like hard to learn. That run.
some big record company heard the Jones Girls, right?
Yeah.
And I read that story.
Yeah,
Wasn't impressed. I don't want them.
I know, but look what they did though.
Thank you very much. Somebody just.
Nights Over Egypt. That's
Ah.
boy.
I go, wow.
Yeah.
But these things happen.
Gamble and Huff.
Whoa, that is a songwriting.
McFadden and Whitehead. Ain't no stopping us now. That was a huge hit.
And this guy used to look so cool. He looks like a Slash Carpenter
Yeah.
slash studio guy. Always had the pencil.
Yeah,
lens.
yeah.
Tom Bell.
Yeah.
He's Jamaican.
I didn't know that, man.
I found that out the other day too. The legendary
Tom Bell
bassist
rocked it out,
Valberg
man.
told me that, man.
Really? Huh?
Yeah.
I didn't know that, man.
Yes.
But
he was Jamaican.
I guess if you listen to his playing, though.
A lot
you
of
know,
cats
like,
who
think about
played
it.
in the States, they were instrumental in the American sound.
Oh, yeah, man.
A guy big
Yeah.
in Toronto, he used to be with these cats. Tony Aiken, he's in Chicago.
I know who Tony Aiken is.
Big,
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
played with Daryl Gibbs and
Oh,
all
yeah.
these
I know
cats.
exactly who it is.
A
Yeah.
lot of West Indians out there. A lot of were instrumental, like Crown Heights. If we had West Indian, Brass Construction,
Yeah, Brass Construction.
primarily West Indian band.
What? Brass Construction?
The West Indian Jamaicans, Trinis, Guyanese,
Brass
man.
Construction was the.
Yeah,
They were the hit, man.
they were it.
I can think of some other words to say, but I'm
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, you can't say over radio. But there's a lot of cats that people don't talk about. But
Yeah.
I'm bringing that out.
Yeah,
I
that's-
let my people know that what we all
I thought
about.
we were talking about Philly.
Yo,
You talking about you?
but we're gonna get back. Stay on point.
I know, yeah.
Philly sound, man. How did you get around?
Man, Philly sound. When you grow up in it, man, you don't even really feel it until you leave,
Right.
And you come back.
Okay.
You know, like
You
I
appreciate
joined the
it.
military, yeah, and then
Okay.
I remember coming back the first time. Military, we listened to everything except for what I'm accompanied to.
Right.
And when I came home, I was like, oh yeah, man, WDAS right away.
Yeah.
As soon as I get in the city limit, you know what I'm talking about?
Right.
And Steve Harvey has a thing on
Okay.
WDAS.
All right.
You getting all excited about Philly, man? I can't. I'm got ADD right now.
Yeah. But listen, your DJs out there was just unbelievable.
Yeah,
Jocko.
yeah.
Butterball.
Yeah, man.
I mean, this Italian
Jocko
cat.
went on to be like real famous, man.
This Butterball, this Italian
Butterball,
cat
yeah.
just totally blew people away.
Yeah, man.
He had lines that people copied and was
Yeah.
just on a flow.
That was the beginning of rap, man.
Yeah,
It was
yeah.
the beginning, all part of the beginning of rap, you know.
Yeah.
Guys staying, you know, when the DJing on the radio, you know, started like you put it together. You know what I mean? That's
Yeah.
the beginning. That was the beginning start of rap. That's before it got evil and all this other, or you know,
Yeah.
gangster and all that. That's
No,
back when it was fun.
It was.
Just DJs
They had
talking
flow.
mess, yeah, with a flow, you know.
Yeah. And it sounded real great. And it, you know, that sound, but you guys have a sound. Detroit had his sound.
Sorry about this, man.
Yeah, Chicago has his sound. Yeah.
Sorry about that.
No
It was
problem.
Shamaka
No
that
problem.
interrupted the show.
No problem.
Let me turn this down.
Yeah.
So sorry about that.
No worry. No problem. No problem.
Okay, I'm
I
just
know
gonna
you.
cut it off right now.
Yes, but we're gonna.
Okay, sorry.
I
about that.
wanted to get that story out, Jerome.
Yeah.
Remember the last time you were here, and it just dawned on me. I should do a Philadelphia Soul, and
Definitely.
you jumped on the idea. Let me be part of that.
Yeah, man,
I go,
because
"Whoa." Yeah.
you know, like I said, I lived it. You know what I mean? Like I grew up listening to that. You said the Delphonics.
Yeah, man.
That was my dad's band. You hear me?
Yeah.
Evelyn Champagne King,
Oh,
Shane,
killer. She had hit after hit.
hit after hit. Yes, man. But that and Phyllis Hyman.
Ooh. She was
I'm
fun.
telling you, man.
She
You
was
got
fun.
you got all the stuff here, buddy.
But tell me, back in the days, as you remember, when
Uh-huh.
the music was coming out like an assembly line.
Right. And it was.
The big afro, the fancy cars,
Oh, yeah.
ghetto blaster,
Oh yeah.
the spoken word.
Yeah.
What was that like there?
The spoken word was really something. You know, it started in poetry things, right? But then some of the brothers, I hate to say brothers because that's how it started, because, you know, would leave those poetry things and add it to music.
Right.
And it just took off.
Mhm.
It took off. And if you even go there now, there's probably 5 or 6 great
Mhm.
spoken word bars. And that's all they do,
Okay.
you know?
When you were back in the days when music were coming out, and guys were cool. You didn't hear the fights.
Right.
Down in the basement, backyard parties at the dances. What was that like in Philadelphia?
You mean like the fights and all that stuff?
No. Not today, like what we
Okay.
have, but back in there.
Back in the day.
How you guys groove with the music and the coolness and the women and the.
Oh man! You know what? We used to have this thing called a maxi coat,
Yeah.
and you wear the long maxi coat, and it matched your pants, and you had a nice platform shoes, and the hat with the feather.
Yes.
You know, like a fur hat with a feather, man. And you know, basically, you was just a player, man. And you know what? The music and the girls. If you was dressed like that, and you had a little game, if you wasn't mama mouthing like.
Cool breeze.
Man, the music was made. Listen to Teddy Pendergrass.
Oh man.
You know,
turn off the
if
lights.
turn off, close the door.
Oh,
if you got all that
keep
going
you
on,
Mhm.
and you dress right, and you out at night, and you know how to dance, boy.
What about the cars and stuff? What did you push?
I pushed back then because I was younger back then. I had a what do they call that car? A Gran Torino.
Mm.
And mine was nice. It was a 77 was my first car, man. Blue, midnight blue, chromed out. Really nice with velour interior.
Yeah.
And I had my dice in the window. But, you know, even as a young brother, man, I had a car, you know what I'm saying? And I was always dressed nice.
Right.
And I always had a nice girl, you know. I'm not even lying to you. I don't know if that was Philly, man.
Yeah.
That was Philly, man. It just
And
it was like free love, sort of like in the '80s.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Guys
like,
were cool in the dance. They didn't carry on
man.
with this nonsense.
No, man, none of
Yeah.
that. You don't have time for that, man.
Yeah.
You know, and don't ruin my groove when I was out.
Right.
You know, don't come talking about some mess about work or
Yeah.
anything like that. Because when you out, you could be hanging out with the guys you work with, right? But the music was number one always.
Yes.
Music and the girls were number one.
Jerome, I must,
Music and the girls.
I must add this. I've seen some of those Philly girls.
Yeah.
Sweet, sweet mother-in-law honey.
Yeah, real
They
nice.
are fine, boy.
Yeah. But I gotta say this:
Uh-huh.
we do live in Toronto.
Yes.
We do live in Toronto.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
the sisters back then, they knew
Yeah.
all the words to the song, man. It's just
They're- wow.
I miss that, man. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? It was just a really, really good time in my life, you know?
Man, you guys had a
Real-
Go ahead.
Real community. Or not like now.
This-
You know, everything is so separate now. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Everybody's guarding their own thing to take care of stuff. But back then, man, you might be on a block party and know everybody at the block party because it was everybody from the neighborhood.
Family.
Yeah, exactly.
Everybody looked at it after each other.
That's right, man. You could walk home at, you know, whenever you got off. Girls could walk home, you know, by themselves and, you know, and not have to worry, you know what I'm saying? Things like that. Because I don't know, it was all in the neighborhood. They were neighborhood parties.
There was
man.
a love.
Exactly.
Things got crazy
Yeah,
down the
man.
road with the
Yeah.
drugs and the
Yes.
craziness and the
That guy-
gangster business. Everybody they gotta kill somebody to be cool, which
That's
is stupid.
it, man. The 80s, the late 80s and the 90s kind of ruined all that, man. It ruined all the trust.
Yeah.
You know, but before that, man, we were flying, you know? Flying high, man. Philadelphia's sound, man. You know?
TSOP.
That's right. Yes, man. Subway line, you know?
Yeah.
Broad Street, Market Street, you know? Listen to great music. The best music, I thought.
Yeah.
Best music around. I didn't know anything else, man.
Right. But you guys had it going on, I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
I did a few documentaries on the radio. I started with The Land of Funk, Dayton, Ohio.
Nice.
David R. Webb.
The land
He
of
did
funk.
the he did the he did the bio on that. I did
Nice.
Alvin Mickey Flight, Jamaica Funk.
Nice. Oh, yeah.
I did Brooklyn Scene with Daryl Gibbs,
Okay.
VP of Treasure Rocks record. We got the video for it and everything. I did Cheryl Cooley, California Funk,
Nice.
and
Was that thing in New York you,
that was part of it. I got the
Okay.
Brooklyn.
Yeah, they
from
honored
the-
you on that, didn't they?
Yeah.
All
that
right,
was
I
good.
saw some of that, yeah.
But I wanted that Philly stuff, and there's a few I want. I have the audio, but it's nice to get the video to
Yeah.
with it.
Yeah.
Now you
yeah.
got something you get some people's attention,
Right.
draw them
Right.
in, and you really capture them.
No, that's true. That's true.
Yeah, so this is what we do at Radio. Nobody does this
No,
kind of stuff.
and I'm thinking back right now, like I'm listening to you every word you say, but in the back of my mind, I'm thinking about them silk shirts and dashikis, and you know what I'm talking about, like back afros.
Right.
Man, I don't know, man. I miss that stuff, man. You know,
It's a very different time.
amber bracelet.
Yeah, that's cool. The big chain.
Yeah, and the big medallion. Remember the medallion?
Big afros.
Yes, man.
So what was this? It's like back in those days when you had Julius Irving.
Yeah, man.
And going to see a Philadelphia game.
Man, that was just wonderful, man. You know
Oh,
what?
Moses Malone.
Everybody with Moses Malone.
Oh,
and then later, Maurice Cheeks and remember Daryl Dawkins even after all that, you know, but
had one of the baddest I call the baddest white boy who played defense, Bobby Jones.
Bobby Jones, yeah,
Bobby Jones.
yeah,
Oh,
man, yeah.
Doug Collins.
Bobby Jones,
Doug
Doug Collins. They were brothers. Because they played like brothers. Remember? Yes, man. Doug Collins,
Man, he was a bad,
and
bad.
Bobby Jones, but Doug Collins. Doug Collins.
And you guys had an enforcer that you traded to Atlanta there, man. Big guy.
Who? Not Moses Malone.
No, he traded to Atlanta back in the 70s.
Let me think about.
He was
that.
big, bad, and
Oh man, no, because Daryl Dawkins didn't come
no,
to
no,
the
no,
80s.
not Dawkins. The name is. I could see his face.
Oh man, how could I not? You know, it's just because back then, man, like I didn't miss one game.
Right.
You know, I didn't miss even my uncle.
Yeah.
I have 4 uncles on my mom's side, but they played with the Eagles.
Okay.
Yeah, my mom's side they were all NFL. So
Okay.
Philadelphia is very alive in sports,
Right.
in history,
Yeah.
and definitely in music, man. And Philly cheesesteak, you know.
Oh, gotta
famous
have
for
that.
thing, yeah.
Gotta have that. But wow, you Philadelphia has such a unique and vibrant and rich history. I don't think a lot
Yeah.
of people in Philadelphia even realize.
Right, that's true, man. Because when you grow up in something, right, your expectations are kind of high, but you don't realize it until you leave.
Yeah.
You know, and then you see how everybody else is, you know, maybe listening to music or whatever, right? And then you realize, wow, man, I really did have it good. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And when you were coming up, like the education system,
Yeah.
the music scene, you wanted to raise that bar as well.
Yeah, totally.
Because it was so high,
Yeah.
you know.
Well, that's it, right? And here's the thing, you knew right away if you weren't cut out for it.
Right, yeah.
because
Absolutely.
because so many people were so good, right?
Yes.
And if you didn't run in that crowd, you did something different because
Yeah.
you wouldn't last. Let's put it that way. You even have the 76. Oh, check it.
That's
badass, man. Sorry.
They're coming. They're coming. These guys are coming. The Sixers are coming.
Man, it ain't like the old team. I don't care, you know?
I know. But there's hope for you guys. I mean,
Yeah.
oh man, I was so excited to do this show on Philadelphia. And what's your view with African American progressing in Philadelphia?
Okay, so for us, I don't know, man. On the inner city, it was tough because just like everything else, you know, you feel like you have a foot on your neck, you know.
Yes.
But I think early on, like our family, we went to school, you know, like that was the thing. You get your education, then you can get up out of here, you know what I mean? But I gotta say, my dad, I gotta give him props.
Right.
You know, I don't always agree with him, you know,
Yeah.
sometimes we knock heads, but
Yeah.
he always kept us out of the really bad areas. Like early on, when I was a really young kid, okay, you know, we
Things
were in
were
the
good.
bad area. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we're in the bad areas, but about the time I turned 12, man, he moved us to the suburbs. So that was a
Yeah.
kind of a blessing in disguise, you know what I mean?
Yes.
Because we avoided the drugs and all those kind of things, you know what I'm
Went to
saying? Not
school.
saying the whole family did, but you know,
Right.
for the most part.
And
know.
you learned electronics in the Navy.
Yeah, I did. I went to the Navy for 10 years.
Mhm.
He made sure he said, you're 18 now. If you don't have a plan, whatever, you're getting out of this house. So that's how,
good plan.
get out of there. You know what I'm saying? You said they're going to have me sitting around the house and
No.
30 something looking at me.
Smoking
Yes.
weed,
Yeah.
bringing all them girls.
Yeah, well, I did bring the girl. I got caught. He busted me once. He said, "Don't let your young sister see you."
Yeah.
That's all he was worried about.
Yeah.
But he was happy that
Yeah.
Okay, my son's good. You know.
Yeah. Wow. Jerome
My
Tucker.
dad was the worst and the best.
We'll keep that off air. Jerome Tucker. For the listeners who just tuning in, we're doing the Philadelphia soul and the stories and things like that. Name me 10 songs that defines Philadelphia.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that defines Philly. Must be the music. Must be the music turning me on. Must be the music. God, we had Philadelphia. Anything by the Philadelphia Orchestra.
Mm.
You know, George Duke. any of his stuff. Definitely Teddy Pendergrass, Harold Melvin and the Blue Notes. All the songs by Teddy Pendergrass. I can't even get into each one because every one of them was a hit.
Mm-hmm.
We liked Barry White a whole lot. Anyway, I know you were asking for songs, but there's so many songs. I'm kind of drawing a blank on the actual tune, so I'll just cover the artists.
Yes.
Phyllis Hyman, really huge. Grover Washington. God, man, just so many people.
Yeah.
The Delphonics, that was my dad's favorite thing. The Temptations, the Tramps. The Tramps were huge, man. Yeah. Yeah, doom, doom, doom,
Disco.
doom, 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 doom. Yeah, Disco Inferno.
Yeah.
That was the song. God, man, I can't even begin to the stylistics. You know, a lot of the stylistics early on that helped frame like McFadden and Whitehead. Ain't no stopping us now.
Yeah.
God, just so many songs, man. I can't even really,
You coming
Those
from
are all Philadelphia.
you coming out of Philadelphia. What are you most proudest of?
Just the culture of Philly, and the musical background,
Right.
and the stability of knowing you come from a strong city, well established, really old city.
Right.
I don't know, and I just think that we're different.
Yes.
It's just a different kind of vibe, man. Most Philadelphia men are pretty strong,
Right.
pretty straight, pretty strong, honest.
Mm-hmm.
I'm talking old school now.
Right.
Honest, hard work,
Right.
and that'll create your opportunities.
Right.
So Philadelphia that way, just the whole music vibe, the food thing. I don't just every part about it. Every part about growing up there. Pride
Right.
in my city.
Right.
That's what makes me feel good.
And your motto, let brotherly endure. Wow.
Yeah. Yep. That's right.
Mm.
Brotherly love, the city of brotherly love. I don't know, back in the day, you had to find some love. If it wasn't in your neighborhood, you had all the love in your neighborhood, but brotherly love went the wayside around the 80s.
Yeah.
But before that, man, yeah, all community, all love.
How would you define the Philadelphia sound today?
It's really, really diverse.
Yeah.
Really diverse. We still have our thing. You know what? One thing I didn't mention is in our sound is always a little bit of gospel.
Okay.
Because if you really listen close, there's always that little tinge of gospel, and I think that's what makes us, there's a little churchiness in there,
Right.
With the funk.
Right.
But today, it's just like anything else. The radio has kind of the radio and the internet has internationalized everything.
Right.
So I don't think we're really creating any Philadelphia music per se anymore.
before.
Yeah. It's more or less, but then again, you have the Jill Scott.
Yes.
Jill Scott sounds Philly.
Oh yes.
She definitely sounds Philly. So,
She is.
but I would say on the whole, we're not really creating Philly music anymore. I think she's probably the last one making that. And if you go get a record, man, it's Philly all over it.
Right. Now, this is we had so much fun today in the studio, Jerome. Man, oh my goodness, it's just and there's so much music to be played. Your catalog is so huge.
Your catalog is huge. Shoot, man, I mentioned Segun Buckner, and you know exactly who he is. You mean the La 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 song? Nobody knows that, man, but you know everything that's ever been spun.
Yeah.
So
Philadelphia catalog is so huge.
Yeah, it
and
really is.
And it's good. It's good stuff. I know you got to get rolling soon because that gig, time is
starts
time.
at 2,
Time is money, and all that stuff. But
okay.
Thank you for coming down to the Radio Region facilities. You're always welcome here. We have
Man,
so
I
much
love
fun.
it here, man. I love it here.
It's
I love hanging out with you. You know that.
Yeah.
Like we're close friends. So
Mhm.
I don't know, man. I just really, really enjoy coming here. It's like having a vacation away in the city. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like the last couple of hours went by so fast.
It did.
Now it's time to go.
I lost track of time.
Right. I know, man. It always goes like that, man.
But the main thing, we've got footage.
Right.
We got video footage we could put up there so people could.
Right. Maybe next time you play some crappy music, and and then then the time will go slower.
Which is hard to do.
Love you, brother.
Man, I'm telling you.
All the way, man. I love you.
Jerome, it is always. Let me get a couple of tracks on there, and we're gonna get into the groove.
See, you be holding the best. You know, I think you're holding the best for last, but all of them be sounding good. Now I gotta go get in my car and listen to the radio, the regular radio. You know what I'm talking about?
Girl, why you wanna make me sweat? Standing there playing hard to get all the time, all the time. I said it's up to you to do what I want you to. Use my mind.
Who is that?
My mind.
Archie Bell and the Drills.
Oh, nice. The Drills.
Good afternoon, Toronto. Victor Baines Marshall from the Radio Region broadcast facilities with the cool breeze. We're bringing the Philly sound, the Philly soul, and you here to tell us. Part 2, we had Jerome Tucker earlier on. You here to tell go a little more in depth.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about the TSOP, the great DJs, bass players, and all the good stuff that come out of Philadelphia. A lot of people don't know. So how are you?
I'm doing good, brother. You know, I'm just enjoying the day. Finally getting some warmth here, and the Raptors. I'm getting ready for the Raptors to do their thing tonight. You know, they're gonna do it.
They're gonna clean things up.
Mm-hmm.
So you got to convince Kawhi Leonard to stay here.
Oh, he's gonna stay. They offered him. I heard that they offered him. Some developers, they had a consortium, and they've offered him 4, 5, 6 different penthouses to choose from, and they're multi-million-dollar. These are multi-million-dollar penthouses.
Wow.
Man. Suites.
Wow.
To stay here.
That's
condo. Yep. Condo.
That is incredible. That is incredible.
And he's probably got more offers too that we haven't heard about.
Yeah. But it's good. I always wanted to do something for Philadelphia because I did a lot of the other major city, but I want this on tape, and I want people who know the story to tell the story.
Yes.
So tell me, what was the Philly sound like when you were coming up?
All right, well, I gotta give you some background. I'm not actually from Philadelphia. I'm from a small town outside of Philly, about 26 miles outside of Philly, called Westchester. Okay. But it's like it's like going to Ajax or something like that.
Right.
So basically right in Philly, and back in those days,
Go ahead.
the Philly sound wasn't really appreciated by too many people. They hadn't had too many breakout. Like Chubby Checker did the Twist,
Right.
and that was a big breakout song. But I mean, other than that, like the Delphonics and them hadn't come along yet. But the Philly sounds always had a uniqueness that was different from Motown. I mean, I love Motown too, but Philly wasn't as, I guess you could say, super polished and homogenized as Motown was. It was more, had some more grit to it.
Soul,
And-
Southern soul.
Yeah, and we had our own unique sound. Like, and a lot of brothers were singing on the corners, man. Like we should be drinking wine and singing, and some of us could sing real good, but they didn't go too far. But
Right.
in Philly, there's some of the, we listened to, there was 2 main stations as far as soul music was concerned. One was WDAS, that little stand for We're Definitely All Soul,
Right.
and WHAT, and they were both pretty even as far as the personalities that they presented. They had, WDAS had Jimmy Bishop, Georgie Woods, let me see who else, Butterball, Jocko Henderson was there. He was working too. He's going back, I think, to WBLS in New York, a couple of stations in New York. He was on a lot of different stations.
Right.
Louis Hicks was in. Louis Hayes, I think. It's been a long time ago, and that was on DAS. They had other ones as well.
Right.
But the main ones on WHAT was Sonny Hopson, the Mighty Burner,
Okay.
and Jerry Blavat, who was a white guy. He went by the name of the Geeter with the Heater.
Ah.
And he also had a radio show, a TV show as well.
Okay.
And these guys were like, those guys were more flamboyant,
Yes.
like especially Sonny Hopson, the Mighty Burner. He was like, he he spoke really fast, and he had his signature line was "Make no mistake, Jake."
I love it.
And Butterball, you know,
He had the rap, man. I love his
Butterball
rap.
had that rap, that smooth, soul, slower rap, and Butterball be dressed into. He'd be coming up with them pink suits, white shoes. I mean, but all hooked up, you know, looking nice. Because he also used to MC at the Uptown Theater,
Right.
which is like Philly's version of the Apollo, the Chitlin circuit. So,
Okay.
so we'd be listening to those guys, and you know, so we heard groups like the Delphonics, the Intruders, the Ambassadors, the Ethics, the Eminons, the Epsilons, Pat and the Blenders, Brendan and the Tabulations, Harold Melvin and the Blue Notes, Billy Paul, the OJs. The
Oh.
OJs originally out of Cleveland, Ohio.
That's
but
right, but
Then they moved to Philadelphia.
That's right.
And that's where they had the bulk of the hits. I think they had one hit out of Cleveland. It wasn't that big. Lipstick Traces.
They made their name down.
Yeah, but they made the name in Philly, and of course Signal Sound Studios in Philly, with Vince Montana and all those bands, those guys. Those, you know, that they later evolved into TSOP, South Soul Orchestra. You know, they were affiliated with them as well, but there was TSOP,
Right.
and Disco Tip. You know,
Right.
and so that from that genesis, you know.
Yes.
You know, because a lot of Philly people, like, you know, like a lot of other people, are the black folks that were originally from down south,
Right.
and so their parents moved up north to get a better life. Like Cliff Nobles was in Norristown, Pennsylvania, a small town outside of. He had the horse.
Yes.
Frankie Beverly and Mays was out of Norristown, and that's right outside of Philly, like Westchester, and you know, other groups like Jay and the Techniques. They were from Allentown, Pennsylvania. You know, the list of D.D. Sharp, Bunny Sigler, Ronnie Dyson, what's his name?
Ronnie Dyson from
yeah,
there?
Yeah. Also, who's their brother? Eddie Holman.
Yes.
Eddie Holman with this beautiful falsetto.
Mm.
You know, then they had the Blue Eyed Soul guys. You know, the white
Hall
guys
and
who sang
Oates.
like brothers. Hall and Oates, but before Hall and Oates we played one of their songs earlier. It's called "Girl, I Love You." They were known as the Temptones because they were all going to Temple University.
Right.
And they were signed up with, I think, I don't know if Jimmy Bishop had a label called Arctic Records. He had interest in that. And then there was the Gamblin' Huff.
Writing team.
Yeah, and I think Gamblin' Huff hooked up with Hall & Oates, and they hadn't really decided on a name. Hall & Oates had a name, but Gamblin' Huff didn't like it.
And they had also the Tom Bell.
Tom
A
Bell.
lot of people didn't
yeah.
know he was Jamaican.
Yeah, yep. And so anyway, they went to them, and they approached them, and they sang for them. They auditioned for them, and said, "Wow!" And the Temptations just happened to be in town that when they were auditioning, and the Temptations were so impressed that they Paul Williams particularly took them under his wing,
Yeah.
and the rumor has it that they had to change their name to the Temptones,
Okay.
or it was because
Conflict
of
of-
Temple University, but I
Yeah,
think it was
okay.
because it was the Temptations,
Right.
but you know, because the Temptations were really impressed with them, and so they sang. And I sang them. First time I saw them sing was at a Freedom show. They used to have these shows at Convention Hall in Philly, West Philly, around 44th Market, and they were like shows. And a lot of the prophets went to the Civil Rights Movement. That's what they called it, the Freedom Show.
Wow.
And James Brown used to perform, I think, for free, and donate his thing.
Right.
And so it was a big day because the one night affair would be about 10 artists.
Right.
And they performed, and they had a song on the radio. And back in those days, you didn't see them. You know, I mean, you didn't know what these guys looked like. You know, you didn't know if they were black, white, or whatever, because they had no videos, something like
Right,
that.
in those days,
And they
yes.
didn't get on TV until they made, you know, the song was big.
Right.
So they came out there. I said, "Who's these white boys?" You know, and they came out and they hit that song. People were just. But the baddest white group out of Philly was the Magnificent Men. I don't know if you heard them. They did a song called "Peace of Mind." They were very inspired and influenced by Curtis Mayfield and the Impressions.
All right.
You know, we'll play one of those songs later on. But you know, and then they had Len Barry. He had the song 1, 2, 3, da 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 da. I don't know. I'm going back now. I'm going back to the mid '60s, bro.
Yeah.
And
Serious stuff.
oh yeah, so you know, so that was when I got into it. I mean, I heard other stuff before then, you know, because hey, I'm gonna be 68 in October, so I was a kid. I was a youngster coming up in the '50s, so I remember, you know, the guys were just like Fonz and all that type of stuff. So you know, and all the brothers back then had their, well, not all, but most of them had their hair processed. We used to call it processed.
Okay, yes.
And I was getting all my friends friends from Philadelphia because we just played the Sixers, and you know they go the process. I said, y'all ain't ready for no process because you remember Malcolm X, when you put a process, and you put the hair straight in, that stuff will burn your hair if you
Yes.
got no pre-cream in there.
Oh,
And
burn
so-
your skull too.
Oh yeah, but you know, I digress. But anyway, so you know, it was an evolution, and I'm so proud to be a part of that. You know, the growing up, you know, from the early days in Philly to I don't really know what's happening in Philly now, man. You know, because rap's taking over, and
Yeah,
so
it's a different time.
You don't really hear any R&B now. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, even the so-called R&B artists today. I'm not to put them down. They're doing what they got to do, but
right.
they're pop.
Yes.
It's pop.
Pop,
It ain't got no grit, no soul. It's just
no.
pop.
Yes,
you know?
I
So-
agree. Totally agree. Now, what made Philadelphia disc jockeys so unique, man? You guys had a assembly line of these cats with the lines, man.
I don't know. It might have been the cheesesteaks. I don't know, but I don't know. But they had a lot of artists coming out. They had a lot of guys who coming out, men and women singers. You know, Patti LaBelle's out of Philadelphia. Patti LaBelle and the Bluebells down the aisle. You know, Barbara Mason, Brandon the Tabulations. You know, some of D.D. Sharp.
Oh.
But I don't know what it made. You know, it's just like back in those days, as you recall, the groups would develop the sound almost in a vacuum. You know,
Yeah.
they'd hear the big hits once they were rapping,
Right.
but they would, you know, they just would develop their music in a vacuum basically. And they had their own sound came like you know you could go to Philly and sound, you know, it's groups, and you go down to Memphis and it's different. It's more southern.
It's unique.
You go to Baltimore with Frankie and the Spindles, count to 10. It's not that far from Philly,
Right.
but you know it's a little different. DC, they had groups out of DC, the Unifics, Donny Hathaway,
Love
you
those-
know,
love those
the
groups.
Unifics.
Oh.
And the other thing about those groups in those days, you had to be able to step.
Yes.
You know, I mean, you had to be able, you know, you had
Dance and sing.
dance and sing. You had to put on a show. You know, you wasn't nobody just standing around, just you know. I mean, some guys were because that wasn't.
Yes,
They didn't have it in them to do that, but you know, but
not only that Philadelphia had great soul and great DJs, they had some of the best bass players in the country.
yeah, oh yeah, and they had some of the best organists as well.
Is that
Like
right?
Jimmy Smith.
Oh yes,
What's the name? The guy, the Italian fellow. He's Joey DiFrancesco.
he came from Philly. I didn't
Oh
know
yeah,
that.
Brother Jack McDuff. I think he's from Philly. Either Philly or Pittsburgh. I'm not sure. The
Same
woman.
region,
What was the
Pennsylvania.
woman? Mary. What was the woman? That woman. Forget her name now. She was a keyboard player. You know. But yeah, Philly had. You know, my friend Mike Holden. You know, he didn't really make it big, but he wrote Smooth Talk for Evelyn Champagne King. You know, and he's still playing, but I mean, yeah, there was a lot of great bass players in Philly as well. A lot of great musicians.
Stanley Clark,
Stanley Clark.
Jaco Pastorius,
Oh, yeah.
Nathan East,
Yeah.
Jamaluddin Takuma,
Yeah.
Alfonso Johnson,
Yeah.
Victor Bailey, Kristen McBride, Jimmy Garrison, Percy Heath,
Yeah.
Art Davis, Gerald Beasley.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's mind blowing to
Yeah.
me, man.
Yeah.
That one region has
Yeah.
so much uniqueness, and your history's a lot of firsts in America.
Yeah.
I went into the history, and I could just totally blow me away.
Yeah.
The Liberty Bell,
You know, it was
Philly cheesesteak,
you know,
rock.
and they also had a thing in
Medicine.
Philly that
Mhm.
was probably, well, I know it was before LA, and it was a detriment to the community, but it was a real, back in those days, it was gang wars.
Oh,
Like they would have, you know, like you could go to North Philly and it was, you go to 12P, 12th and Poplar, 28th and Oxford, the Valley, New World Valley,
Yeah.
the Moon in West Philly, you know, all these areas, and it was like they weren't fighting over no drugs and nothing. It was just territory, you know.
Oh,
and, like,
okay.
but they would
before LA.
yeah, they would. This was like in the early '60s up until like 67, 68, 69. That's when the drugs came in, and
Madness.
yeah.
Yeah.
But before that, there was this gang war for territory, and you know, like, and this is no word of a lie. Like in the 3 months, say from June, July, August, in the summertime, there'd be like 100 murders in Philly alone, just from gang murders. They had drive-by shootings, and it was dangerous. And I had a job. I was like 14 or something like that, and I had to deliver. I worked for this black printer in Westchester, and I had to get the bus into Philly. It took about half an hour, 45 minutes to get in there, and I had to go to North Philly, man, and right in them gang territories. and I had to deliver he maybe print up some flyers for a church or something, and I had to deliver them and get the money, and like I'm done, I'm shaking because you could easily get killed,
Yeah.
Like I remember also, I went down to Philly and I went to this place called Shoe City, and I went to get some shoes. I had some nice shoes, and I remember leaving and standing outside with some brothers. Right, they were older than me, about 3 or 4 years older than me, and one guy said, "Hey, yo, man, what size shoe you wear?" I said, 7 or 8, and he knew I was, he said, "Let me check them." He just took to my shoes, tried them, I said, "Thank you," and that was it was dangerous. Philly's always had that little undertone of violence. A lot of fighters come out of Philly too,
Okay.
But yeah, and also some of the, back then we dressed, man. We wear like silk or mohair pants, Italian knits. Like I said, all the guys had their hair processed, styled up really nice. Gaiters or celebrity boots, diplomat shoes, all these. Remember those socks that they were clear, like nylon?
Yeah.
We'd have them on. Like I'd have a green walking suit, it was like Kelly green pants, Kelly green top with like a lime insert. The buttons would be lime. It's your short sleeve shirt. I'd have black socks with lime green striping, piping up them, and suede, green suede slip-ons, with green, lime, green Kangol, cool cap. We used to call them cool caps back then. It was a different world, man. But I don't know what it was, but the creativity was just born out of, because it was hard times too. Because there was segregation.
Yes.
There was still a lot of segregation, man. Like black people couldn't vote down south. Some places up north you couldn't go to if you were black. You couldn't get into.
Yeah.
So I mean that. It made a sense of, it created a sense of togetherness, unity in one respect, and I guess the arts, music particularly, was one way that black people could kind of get it out, and for some reason Philly is just one of those unique cities that just popped up, like Detroit, same thing, Motown, but Philly had a lot more different. I think, Detroit's known for Motown, but Philly had Sigma Soul Studio. They had all these other different studios that were happening, recording studios, and it's. I'm just blessed to have been raised in that era.
Okay. Well, this Victor Baines Marshall, man, you're hitting us with some good stories there, man. It's a good, really good story.
I remember I got another one. I remember I used to go to get my hair done when I go into Philly at this place, Broad and Dolphin, where the Uptown Theater was in North Philly.
Yeah.
And it was called the Uptown Theatrical Barbershop or something. And I went there, and I still remember the guy's name who did my hair, Bay, big brother.
Yes.
And I went in there, and Little Sonny from The Intruders came in. He wanted to get a touch up because they were Intruders were performing.
Right.
And he said to me, you mind if I go before you? Because I said, yeah, no problem, man.
Yeah.
And but seeing him, man, just wow.
So how about the party scene in those days?
Well, again, I could see, because I was growing up outside of Philly, but it was basically the same, except we were a smaller, house parties was the main thing. And then we used to go to a club. You go to clubs and there'll be a dance. Like usually every weekend there's a dance. Mm-hmm. And back then, like I wasn't, nobody was really using any drugs. Everybody was just drinking wine and drinking Thunderbird wine, that really cheap, nasty wine, and drinking that, and then you
get high quick.
You get high, you act a fool, and get up and dance. You couldn't, and then somebody had thrown up all over you or whatever. But it was nice. It was a good. It was like it was innocent in a way where the women weren't showing everything they got,
right.
And you had to kind of come up with skills more or less.
Right, creativity.
I mean, now it seems like it's just like I was talking to this one guy. Actually told me most of these songs now, these hip hop songs, the videos, they just come up with a video and then write the song around a video, the premise of the video.
Yeah. Instead of the song.
Yeah, and everybody's using auto-tone now, and back then, a lot of these, back then, if you couldn't sing, you would get tomatoes thrown at you, whatever. You get booed off the stage if you couldn't sing. They would You know, I remember Stevie Wonder was singing, and you know how great he is, and he hit a bad note or something, and somebody in the audience said, "You need some water, blind boy." You know how the brother, you know, you get on you.
Yeah.
And Stevie said, "I got some water here. It's good." Because he was like 12 years old, but he was like
Sharp.
sharp. He was
Quick.
sharp, man. Sharp. But yeah, you know what I mean.
So, coming from Philadelphia, what are you most proudest of?
What am I most what?
Proudest of?
Proudest of?
Yeah,
Well, I think the music that came out from that era. I think the fact that we struggled. You know, people were poor, man, and the inventiveness of overcoming situations and you didn't have maybe well, of course you didn't have cell phones and all that stuff, but just like singing.
Right.
We'd find a hall or a bathroom or someplace like that and harmonize there. Everybody was harmonizing. That's one thing I remember. Standing on the corner, drinking wine, harmonizing, and then going to like a place that had a nice acoustics.
Yes.
Usually a place like echoey place, but I don't know why they liked it, but but it was.
It creates a vibe.
Yeah, we that and I'm just proud of for Philadelphia. I'm proud of basically the music, the music that came out of that city. Because I don't think Philly gets its recognition. I mean, they made the thing about Muscle Shoals.
Yes.
They made something about the Detroit, the Wrecking Crew, whatever. They haven't made nothing about Philadelphia, man.
And this is one of the reasons this has inspired me to do this show.
Yes.
Because I wanted to roll audio and video so people can hear these stories and know what you guys are about. Because Philadelphia has a massive catalog.
Yeah, and you know what? You can go to YouTube and go to Philly's 60s Soul, and then you can see. And some of these things, there was a TV show called the High Lit Show. A guy named High Lit. He was also a DJ on a station called the WIBG, but he had a lot of he'd have the Mad Lads when they came to town, the Vibrations, Temptations, all. And then he had a lot of the Philly acts, like the Epsilons. Like the Epsilons came on. Not many people heard of them, but their lead singer, I forget his name right now, but he had a right. And when their song came out, the Echo, he had a voice. They sounded more like a Memphis group than the Philadelphia group. The Philly groups had a lot of falsetto singers in Philly, a whole lot of falsettos.
Is that right?
Oh yeah, the Delphonics, the Blue Notes. I mean, Blue Magic, Stylistics, all of them. They had those Eddie Holman, yeah, oh yeah. And then there was a guy in the Epsilons. Well, he came out of the Epsilon with Lloyd Parks, and he's a light-skinned brother, and he later hooked up with Harold Melvin and the Blue Notes. And if you remember the song "Miss You" by Harold Melvin,
yes,
and the Blue Notes,
that was
the intro where they got the falsetto, ooh, really high, like really. I can't hit that high, but that's Lloyd Parks, and then who else came out of that group? McFadden and Whitehead came out of there, out of the episode. But Ron Dyson, now he's singing, I don't know if now, but he was, later on he went to sing with the Temptations. Because he got the ethics, he had that high, really falsetto.
Yes.
So those guys, that was I think basically the signature sound from Philly, the high falsetto.
Okay. The cultural footprint is significant of what Philadelphia song has created in the world, and you don't get that credit. Great sound.
That's right.
Some of the best DJs.
Bass players.
Bass players.
Organists.
Yes.
Keyboardists.
Some of the first in America was in Philadelphia. NASDAQ, Medicine, the Bell, Freedom, AME Baptist Church.
Yeah.
And the list just goes on. It totally blows me away. Philly Cheesesteak Rocky.
Yeah.
the first, the Philadelphia Orchestra was the first to be in film.
Yeah.
Wow.
Have you been to Philly yet?
No, I haven't.
You got to go, bro.
I met Norman Connors.
Because everything's been being gentrified. So a lot of those spots, they ain't there no more.
Yeah, clean them out.
Best you can do is go on YouTube, get some good old footage from Philly, and like I said, you can see these groups singing on YouTube, like the Ambassadors.
Right.
Everybody would talk about the Temptations being the steps, the choreography. I'm telling you, you see the Ambassadors.
Okay.
You look at a video called "We've Got Love." Check that out. High Lit. and you'll see some stepping brothers, man. I'm telling you.
Okay, I'll check that out. How is downtown Philadelphia today?
Well, you know what, bro? You asking the wrong brother. That, 'cause I ain't been back to Philly in a long time.
Is that right?
My sisters and them still live there, because I got the immigration legal things, but I'm working on that. But I mean, I suspect it's like a lot of these cities. They were calling Philadelphia at one point, like this, not too far, not too, maybe a couple of years ago they were calling it Filthy-delphia.
Okay.
Because a lot of American cities, like in the inner cities and stuff,
Urban decay.
It's like this trash all over the place,
Yes.
so I mean, I don't know. I mean, hopefully they but gentrification, it comes at a cost, because
Yes.
it changes the neighborhood, it homogenizes the neighborhood. Nice,
It
look
does.
pretty, but it loses that
touch.
that touch that
Yeah.
like what they did in New Orleans, in
Mm-hmm.
the Ninth Ward. I don't know what's happening down there, but my buddy told me that it's getting all like sushi shops and all this kind of stuff. Like even around here,
Yeah.
they're gonna
True.
have that. It's
Toronto.
you watch here in Regent Park. It's gonna be sushi shops,
Yeah.
especially beer stores, all this stuff.
Look at Yorkville back in the day, all the hippies and all the creative musicians
Yep.
used to do. No, you can't even buy property there. You
that's
can't.
right.
It's
That's
just
right.
unbelievable.
That's right.
It's all the heavy pockets roaming in, and
We got memories though,
Yeah.
and we got YouTube, and
Yes.
we got vinyl. If you're lucky enough to have stuff from that era.
Victor, I'm planning to do a Toronto funk and soul scene.
Yes.
I'm gonna have some heavy duty musicians come. We're gonna get this documented, put on film, and put up there, man. And exclusively from Radio Regent.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes. Yes.
we'll be doing this.
Radio Regent,
Yeah.
is, and now we're on iHeart.
Yes.
So we're getting that exposure that we
Big time.
deserve.
Huge.
I want to mention, I want to
Go
put my
ahead.
own stuff. You can hear my show every Wednesday here on Radio Regent from 5 to 7 p.m. The Middle Passage. I do some interviews, and I do like a lot. I do a mix of music. I do like, because I after I went to my soul thing, have my hair processed. It's like the Chambers Brothers says, or whoever, I forget who it said, but my soul became psychedelicized.
Wow.
And I was a hippie. I had a great big afro like this.
Yeah.
And I went to that full hippie thing, and then I went up to Boston, and then I was into that player thing. I had my hair straightened, I had it all like Superfly, that
Yes.
hat, all that checking my traps and all this. I mean, that's bad, but I mean, that was part of my, experience. I mean.
Ray, tell the fans who are listening, because we got fans globally, as you know.
All right.
What time is your show, and what's the name of your show?
My show is The Middle Passage. It's on every Wednesday at 5 to 7 p.m. And I play all types of music.
Commentary.
But I have a special section. It's called the Big Rich Oldies Challenge. That's because my homeboy I grew up with down in Westchester, he considers himself the king of the oldies. And I like to challenge him. And so I play some songs, like usually 5 or 6 songs in a row, usually from the 60s and soul music. And we, other people get involved too.
How long you been in Radio Regent?
I've been at Radio Regent since I think 2011. I initially was CKLN. I was at CKLN from 1990, and I seen all the trials and tribulations, and then the final sadness at the end.
Yes, and people tell me when I came to Radio Regent and I started building my own brand and product here, and the people in the States says, you got a hell of a gem in Toronto there at Radio Regent, man. Because when I got into radio, I wanted to bring that heavy duty funk and soul and jazz funk and all that good stuff to the people. I didn't want that wishy-washy craziness. And I invested in my own equipment. I said, I'm bringing videos. We're going to put Toronto artists at the forefront, because I seen what they did with the blues. And the Americans caught on, and they say they want a piece of the action. And we never look back, man. They love this show all over the globe.
I got a suggestion for you.
Go ahead.
There's a brother named Malik X, and he used to do a show at CKLN called the Radio London. And he brought Rare Groove to Toronto. Rare Groove was like the old soul, the soul from like the 70s and stuff that maybe not many people knew about.
A lot of B-sides.
And he's from England. And that brother is legendary for what he brought. He was like, man, when the rare groove scene was happening here, he was like the god. But he kind of went underground now. He works. I think he works for the TTC. Or he does work for the TTC. But I should get in touch with him, and if you want to do a show, maybe take it to London.
Yeah.
Take it worldwide. Take the London, what the soul they listened to back in those days.
I'm good for it.
Yeah.
This is good, but and the other thing I like about Radio Region is the creative form of expression to execute your ideas, man. It's just insurmountable here. Freedom, man.
Freedom.
That's what I love. I was with another radio station. I'm sort of juggling back and forth,
Yeah.
and I saw what we can do. I can do a far greater at Radio Region than this university station at the time, and that made my decision to be more impactful and help the community, and people are really liking everything we do at it get podcasts all on every social media platforms. They're seeing us. They're hearing and the help with iHeart Radio. We have grown exponentially each month since we got iHeart Radio.
That's right.
So I'm really liking you coming down and help telling the story about Philadelphia. Any more stuff you want to add to the Philadelphia stories?
Well,
the music scene.
When we get a couple more songs later, afterwards, I want to play some of the songs that were more disco influenced. But even Philadelphia disco, it always had that soul to it. Because some disco can sound very mechanical and just
over orchestrated.
And Philly always had that kind of soul to it, a little bit of grit,
funk, little gritty.
They play a couple songs from that, but and maybe a song from the Delphonics when they first came out before, like La La La. A lot of people didn't know their music before that.
Right on.
But it's beautiful, man.
Yes, it is. I'm so happy you.
I thank you for doing this, for taking this initiative, for valuing me on the show, but it's going to doing the New York thing, doing the other shows. It's. You got the energy, boy. I'm kind of slowed down a bit, man, because I was on fire. You're on fire, because I was on kind of fire. And I kind of I'm getting older now, man.
I hear you, man. But somebody's got to pick up the slack.
Somebody got to do it.
Yeah, man. I mean, radio, to my humble opinion, needed a Tasmanian monster. It needed Cool Breeze.
Yes.
A radical. When some of my West Indian friends would say, the dirty bad boy. Pull no punches, cut no corners. Breathe real like an electric eel, be like Evander Holyfield.
You been listening to more.
You're killing me, Victor. You're killing me. We're gonna get back to some music, my brother.